Hello everyone, welcome to my Superstar Shakeup. Now this is going to be my fantasy Superstar Shakeup. So this is just going to be me making my predictions to what I think is going to happen with the Superstar Shakeup. Now this is all my opinion. If you disagree with any of the picks that I make, then that is absolutely fine. This is all for fun. This is not real. I'm only doing this for the sake of doing it because I have absolutely nothing better to do. So, I need to get my camera in a good position here because if you guys know me, I film through my laptop, so it's kind of hard for me to actually read out to you guys. So first things first, I need to open up my notepad. You guys will still see what's going on the screen here. So anyway, guys, I have just randomly picked names who could be drafted and why they would be drafted. And I'm also not 100% sure if there's going to be any more NXT call-ups within this Superstar Shakeup, so I have only allowed 4 NXT call-ups, which is 2 each for both brands. So I've only allowed 2 extra NXT call-ups for both brands, just to make it a little bit more interesting. And also just in case if there are any more NXT call-ups. So anyway, yeah, that's why I've done it. So anyway, let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into it, and hopefully you guys can hear me pretty well. My first, and this was the first Superstar Shakeup trade that I immediately came up with in my head, and also I think this one is kind of the obvious one coming because of what happened on SmackDown. I see Charlotte Flair being traded to Monday Night Raw for the now no longer undefeated Empress, Asuka. Now, this one I like because this actually makes a whole lot of sense because Charlotte is being booked right now as the greatest female wrestler of all time, and she's also going to pretty much be taking on Ronda Rousey. So, you know how JD always says they do it for Roman? Well, maybe we should start a trend called they do it for Charlotte. Think about that one, they do it for Charlotte. So, Charlotte pretty much lost her title because they wanted Asuka's undefeated streak to be no more. So they pretty much killed her streak just to keep Charlotte strong. So get that hashtag ready, guys. They do it for Charlotte. If you guys want to do another, if you guys want another funny trend, well, there's one for you. They do it for Charlotte. So Charlotte to Raw, Asuka to SmackDown. I can definitely see Asuka being the #1 face over on SmackDown Live. Another women's trade I see happening, and this one could definitely be either one, because on Raw next week we've got Sasha Banks and Bayley in a one-on-one confrontation, and I think. And for those who actually remember from last year, if you guys remember from last year, the people that lose, and I think this mostly affects the main people. The people that lose are the ones that end up being swapped over. So remember last year when Charlotte was on Raw, she lost in a tag match, and then she lost to Nia Jax, and then she disappeared onto SmackDown Live. So I see this being a possibility as well. I see this happening, and I've been keeping an eye on this throughout the week. Alexa Bliss lost to Ember Moon, and and among others. So just keep that in mind. So keep that in mind. And this is one of them. I see this one happening. Sasha Banks to SmackDown Live for Becky Lynch. Now, the reason why I have picked Sasha Banks is because Sasha Banks, she desperately needs to get off Monday Night Raw. I am tired of Sasha on Raw. She needs to move over to SmackDown Live, start a new have like a new have a fresh new beginning, man. It's all about having a fresh new beginning, and that's just what I see with this man. I see that as a fresh new beginning for Sasha. She needs to go to SmackDown Live. As for Becky, it's kind of the same thing. She needs a fresh new start and an all new beginning. So I wouldn't mind those two being swapped. And the reason why I said it could be either one, it's because it could either be Bayley for Becky or Sasha for Becky, because we don't know who's going to be losing that match on Raw next week. My next one is a please let it happen. This is the one I really hope WWE do. That is Jinder Mahal to Raw for Seth Rollins. I swear I so want this to happen. I do not want to see the modern day Maharaja versus Randy Orton anymore. And you know how much of a Randy Orton mark I am. So I don't want to see this idiot, Jinder Mahal, taking on bloody Randy Orton anymore. What would be better is that Jinder Mahal goes to Raw and Seth Rollins goes to SmackDown, and because of this, they make at Backlash Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton for the IC title. So I think that will be a better match than bloody Mahal and Orton. And whatever they were doing for Backlash, it could be the Miz and Mahal. But honestly, I don't really know. But all I'm telling you guys is all I want is Jinder Mahal off Monday Night Raw. JD mentioned that people on Raw are Vince guys. Well, Jinder Mahal's a Vince guy, so get him on Monday Night Raw if he's a Vince guy. It's all I hope and pray for. So yeah, Jinder, Raw, Seth, SmackDown. Switch those two titles around. This next one is pretty much a trade where I just think it's going to be benefiting the mid-card. This is just one I see for the mid-card, and that is Mojo Raleigh to Monday Night Raw for Big Cass. Now, if you guys remember in my part 2 of the draft, I do specifically remember doing this one as well. Now, like I said, this is just a one where I think they'll just move them because they don't really have anybody to move, so I'll just move them. I think Big Cass is definitely going to end up on SmackDown. I could be wrong, but I think Big Cass starting a fresh new start on SmackDown is definitely going to be good for him. Maybe the real pushes for these two will definitely start on the two different brands. Big Cass, he might get a nice little push on SmackDown, and Mojo might get a nice push on Monday Night Raw. So I definitely see these two changing. I definitely could see these two changing. I think these two changing would definitely benefit for the brands, better mid card in the process. Next one I see, which I really doubt is going to happen because of the Greatest Royal Rumble, but we'll see. I would definitely like to see the Usos get traded to Monday Night Raw for the Club, Gallows and Anderson. So, and some people might say, well, with the Greatest Royal Rumble coming around, we know for a fact that the Usos are not going to get drafted. Well, it's still possible they could still get drafted. Even though they might have all the matches set up for the Greatest Royal Rumble, there is still a chance that some of these trades can still take an effect on the matches. So I really do hope that happens. I really want to see the Usos on Raw. They've done everything they need to do on SmackDown. They don't need to be on SmackDown anymore. Take them over to Monday Night Raw and have the Club on SmackDown and have them, and just finally start building Gallows and Anderson up on SmackDown. So that's what I would do. The next one is Bobby Roode to Monday Night Raw for Finn Balor. You want a nice mid-card exchange? Well, there you go. Here's a nice little mid-card exchange. Bobby Roode for the leader of the Balor Club. This will be a good one. This will be a good trade. And I think it should happen, man. I think it should happen. Finn Balor for Roode. Get Roode off SmackDown Live. Turn him heel on Raw. You know, get him into a heel on Monday Night Raw. Finn Balor on SmackDown. Imagine Finn Balor's matches on SmackDown. Him and Shinsuke Nakamura. Him and AJ Styles. Him and Daniel Bryan. You know, that will definitely be good for Finn Balor. And I think Bobby Roode being moved over to Monday Night Raw might benefit his career, because you never know, they might, you know, change things up on Bobby Roode on Monday Night Raw. This is another women's draft. This is another women's trade. I think this one is just going to be like a little who cares one. They're just going to pop this one on the screen. Because you know how in the last year's shake-up, they didn't have them all come out. They just popped them up on screen to say, oh, this person's on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, I see this one happening with Mojo Rawley and Big Cass. And I also see this one happening for this one. Natalya to Raw for Mandy Rose on SmackDown. Now, I just do not see both members of Absolution staying on Raw. Well, I know some people might say, oh, well, Absolution's done. Well, yeah, Absolution is technically done. But I just do not see both of these two staying on Monday Night Raw. One of them is definitely going to be sent over to SmackDown, and if I had to pick one, it's definitely going to be Mandy Rose. I love Mandy Rose, and you know how much I like her. And yes, she is green in the ring. I'm not saying she's the best wrestler, but I think SmackDown Live is definitely going to benefit her career. It's definitely going to benefit her career, and it's going to give her a nice little push, and giving her her own identity, along with Sonya Deville, is definitely going to be great as well. So Mandy Rose to SmackDown for Natalya to Raw. I just think it makes a whole lot of sense, in my honest opinion. Next for the mid-card is Baron Corbin to Monday Night Raw. And I don't know if many people would have thought of this one for SmackDown Live. Baron Corbin to Raw for Elias to SmackDown Live. I immediately pictured Elias as a SmackDown person. I when I heard he was coming up to the main roster like last year, I was thinking, you know what, this guy could definitely be a nice little addition to SmackDown. I still think of it that way, you know. So I think Elias on SmackDown will be pretty cool. Baron Corbin, why he should be on Raw? Well, big Baron Corbin, you know, he hasn't really, he has had a decent run on SmackDown, Money in the Bank winner, US title run. You know, he's had a decent run on SmackDown. I think sending him over to Monday Night Raw is definitely going to be a nice little rub for him, and maybe he might get a better opportunity over there than he has on SmackDown. But yeah, I just think some of the characters, some of the wrestlers need a nice little brand exchange. This one is a bit iffy. This one's a bit iffy, but I think this one could be possible. Mike and Maria, the Power of Love, heading to Monday Night Raw for Miz and Maurice. Now, some people might say, oh, but Maurice isn't on television. Maurice isn't on television. Maria's not on television. So how the hell is it possible for them to get traded? Hey, Rusev and Lana were traded to Raw together in the first draft, and Miz and Maurice were both traded together in the first draft in 2016. So they can be traded together. And for crying out loud, and for crying out loud, my girlfriend's bloody calling me again. She bloody pisses me off when she's calling me. My apologies about that. You gotta hate loved ones sometimes. They'll call you at the wrong time. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, Mike and Maria to Raw for Miz and Maurice. Some people might say, oh, but Patrick, you know, it's very hard to switch them both because it's very hard to switch them both. Miz and Maria aren't on television a lot. Well, yeah, that is the case, but why would you send Miz to SmackDown and leave Maurice on Raw, and why would you send Mike to Raw and leave Maria on SmackDown? Like, it really doesn't make sense. If they're the manager of that certain wrestler, you know, the manager has to go with them. Yeah, I know Rusev and Lana were drafted separately last year, but you know, Miz and Maria aren't really going to be wrestling. So just think of it that way. So yeah, I think if you're going to switch one couple to another brand, I think the other couple should go to the other brand. That's just my opinion on that. Mike and Maria to Raw, and Miz and Maurice to SmackDown. I think Miz would definitely be better on SmackDown because he was better on SmackDown, even though I can't stand The Miz, but I know for a fact that The Miz on SmackDown was definitely better, you know. Miz on SmackDown was definitely better, and the reason why I think Mike and Maria should be on Raw is because I think, you know, they really didn't do much on SmackDown, and where is Mike? You know, where is he? He hasn't really done anything on SmackDown. So maybe he might get a nice opportunity on Raw. Maybe he'll get a nice opportunity on Raw, and maybe he might get like a tag team partner, or maybe they might give him a nice run with the US title. Who knows? But you never count. But don't count stuff out. Don't count Mike out. I think him being on Raw could definitely benefit him, like it benefited The Miz when he was on SmackDown. Next is a tag team. Now this one's going to be a big, complete guess. I think this one's going to be a complete guess, but I think this will be a good one. Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable to Monday Night Raw for the Revival. Some people might be thinking, why am I saying this? Well, think of it as this way. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin, they haven't really, you know, done much on SmackDown. You know, they've kind of faded away into obscurity. I don't like saying that word, but that's technically what has happened to them. They've faded away, they haven't really been doing much. So I think moving them to Monday Night Raw will be great. And why the Revival to SmackDown Live? Well, Monday Night Raw has done absolutely nothing for them. You know, these two poor schmucks have gotten injured on Monday Night Raw every single time. So, and they really haven't been given much of an opportunity, and they were quote-unquote buried on the Raw roster. So, and I don't see them beating Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt in that tag team eliminator. So, I see the Revival heading over to SmackDown. I think the SmackDown roster would definitely be better for the Revival than Monday Night Raw. And that's where I imaged the Revival the first time. And trust me, I think a lot of you might agree that SmackDown would be better for the Revival. And finally, guys, this is a last pick. This is a women's pick. Now, this one is just a complete guess. This one is just going to be a complete out of the park guess, because I could see this happening, and that is Naomi to Monday Night Raw for Alexa Bliss. Now, some people might say, wait, why Alexa? Well, it's kind of obvious. If it's kind of obvious, then you guys watch Monday Night Raw. Alexa Bliss lost on Monday Night Raw. It's like I said to you guys before. The people that lose, when you hear a superstar shakeups on the horizon and you see people lose, to me the ones that lose are the ones that could be moving. So that's what I'm trying to say. I see Alexa, because she lost to Ember Moon, I could definitely see her being moved over to SmackDown. And in all honesty, guys, I really preferred Alexa on SmackDown than I have on Monday Night Raw. You know, Alexa was definitely a lot better on Raw, on SmackDown than Raw. You know, if you want to move Mickie James along with her, then that's fine. You're just gonna have to get an extra person from SmackDown, maybe Tamina to Raw, or maybe somebody else. You know, like maybe one of the members of the Riot Squad. But yeah, I think a SmackDown Bliss is better. The Raw Bliss is bad. I think the SmackDown Bliss is better. And Naomi to Raw, well, I think it's kind of fair just to keep her with the Usos. I find it fair just to keep her with the Usos, don't have them separated. And I think Monday Night Raw would be better suited for Naomi, because she needs a nice brand change. And as for NXT, now these are just complete guesses, guys. These are just complete guesses, because I don't know if SmackDown, if there's going to be any more NXT, tradees for the Superstar Shakeup. Okay, so these might be just all be complete faults, and we may not even see any NXT call-ups. For Monday Night Raw, I think the NXT call-ups should be Cassius Ohno and Drew McIntyre. I think these two guys would be a nice fit for the mid-card, and maybe Drew McIntyre is a big main eventer, but because it's all about Roman, we don't know that for sure. So, Anyway, I think these two guys will be a nice fit for the mid-card, Cassius Ohno and Drew McIntyre. As for SmackDown, I think it should be Andrade Cien Almas and Sanity. I think Andrade Cien Almas and Sanity should have been on SmackDown this week, but they didn't show up. It was only the Iconics. But hey, at least we got some NXT call-ups for them, and it was the right two people, the Iconics. But yeah, those are the NXT people I see being shaken up onto Raw and SmackDown if they are added in the mix. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all. And I'll see you all in my next video. Maybe I might come up with a video tomorrow. I don't know if I can think of anything else to think about. You know, I don't know if there's gonna be any more things I can think about for videos, but I think I'll think of something. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching my Fantasy Superstar Shake-Up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit that thumbs up. Comment your thoughts down below and tell me how many of these shake-up trades do you agree or disagree with, and let me know down below on who you would trade to SmackDown and Raw. Thank you all for watching me. Be sure to follow me at Twitter at PBallantyne95, and I'll talk to you guys next time.